cry. Next 20 years, 30 years, Ghana, you better.
But what's the money, Mama? Uncle Tete.
Oh, Saturday, more yes, everybody. I'm just everybody.
How?
Which match president Uncle Tete Mogana?
Yeah, the meaning.
And have a question with me. It's not an important question, sir. Oh, more yes, anybody. Oh, yes, I'll bet man. Or better than many with you. A man in yes, I mean, 3
years to come. And this 3 years to come. That's a Juma.
Party move forward. And you know, is move forward. Party move forward. And this is even
oh, can't put your master on one because I'm phone sound
one chance. No, why you obey a baby? I'm in now. Won't you and send the rice here? You know, woman, someone's going on so I didn't know how.
Maybe can't yet. Me found the national security for Befan, found the soldier for Befan. I don't care. Because we didn't find any kind of Metna. John see me, and then before your excellence, before John Mahama. Shemenikusia, whoever is listening and watching, tell him upon fire, upon Jai. Levia, Samahama ain't me and Kuji assassin swa. Ah, when to me and Kwan Kuji assassin swa. What hell you feel dying? Africa in baby, me now to support it. Mama, one Kuji assassin swa, Ubeko. I will not forget. Because they say Ghana bear the hope of Africa. John, Ghana bear Africa United, that's what say, Africa assassin at the Ghana, who bet me do so. John, when you soon didn't feel that, let your pioneer twenty.
Yeah, papa, Mate say only bloggers be I interview. Nah, at this point, you know, and Kaushebupa interviewer or grantee, you know, yeah, papa, and anything extraordinary. Mamusa Ghana for be come on some, but to me, no, I think say it's one of the weakest interviews I grantee in your career as a politician.
I was also offer to say John DRAMANI MAHAMAH Uncle Tete no anase ma onko uhwe nkomo no a ubetimi akere wadwene e comment section no kure nyame anim ni Kelvin ensem bia obakeka akere former president John KUFOUR no ensem no ano edene em say na nse omampani dada watwam grantee interviews bi na Kelvin ensem a woka nyina ne say interviews omampani agrantee nyina we ne de e wo fempa anam say adenti na waso kasasa o kanse bi enu ti na mesinya abote na yekuti nsem no yemfamu aba enu ti utimi kire wadwene e wo comment section ho na afi waso subscribe to the channel na wa share video no amani pampempem ensa so etimi akali yenti Kelvin na nsem no kafa amampani KUFOUR ho emra.
You didn't really say anything new, and in that process of you trying to maybe throw KUFOUR under the bus because maybe you feel say o legacy no ya papa KUFOUR no right now NPP for Canada because do don't free few a party no you want to find a way to throw KUFOUR under the bus to make your name come up to say because like you said obi any NPP mo betuma campaign without your legacy. KUFOUR has no legacy. It's you know who say somebody will be crazy to even campaign without mentioning you whatever you left behind because KUFOUR is not intelligent enough to receive any kind of credit. And we all know say obi a we Jimmy no be Jine KUFOUR so campaign. The only thing I can say you expect to say obi o person be the NPP enimbiano also use wo o recorder sebio papa manosi sumina so e hon shadante as a president no a campaign. Now and then me catch me team and say your interview with bloggers, it wasn't anything extraordinary. There was nothing special about it. You were basically speaking to NPP delegates. You were basically telling them, say, even though Bawumia is a loser, is a liar, they should go out in their numbers to continue the criminality of KUFOUR and the NPP. That is all. You were just charging the base in their head, no. You were just directing them to go and vote for KUFOUR. That was why you were talking to a blogger. At this point, I expect you to be granting interviews to multi-million-dollar media houses with intelligent, with all due respect. I don't have any problem with the people who interviewed you. I don't know them. I don't have an issue with them. But this is my opinion. I expect say KUFOUR say Okasa, ebia the BBC had talk. Ebia CNN, MSNBC, Al Jazeera, like, quality interviews, questions, fact-based questions, fact-based follow-ups, intellectual questioning. But I feel say we'll lower standard now to the point to say, and we'll be out to room. And I understand because the NPP based and as a delegate, say majority of them, bloggers no mutie. They are not intelligent to that point where they will understand real issues and real analysis. That is why you feel say when you go this route, you go the weak route, the what we call a social media sensationalism route. Now, it might give you some they might give you some attention. That is why I'm saying, say, I have no problems with the people who grant you interviews all over the place. But I believe, say, you some of the platforms you grant interviews, you can see, say, bloggers, you know what I mean? You're up there. And see, I was telling my team, say, there was nothing exceptional about what you did, the interview you granted. We have always known you and what you believe and stand for. You have always stood behind what we call lies. And the reason why I'm saying this is simple. Papa, on your birthday, I want to make it easy. Okatre, in your bloggers interview, say, I was not consulted on National Cathedral project. KUFOUR reveals. This is no news. And why are you saying this now? It is looking like, say, Papa, every time we try asemu see nipa bi dia boni try tro omo wie na omo say ye wie no, then you step in like, oh, openyina otifie mayaka nankarefo wan kasa ye beka se nanka no uwibi. And this interview you granted me huniti ehuni nine because we have always known to say you have not been honest with Ghanaians when it comes to national issues. You have departed from patriotism. And that is the problem people like us we have with you. You have departed from patriotism. You are still not allowing the party in you to take over, to understand the say you are a statesman. And it is not about the NPP. It is about Ghana and how we can, at the end of the day, have this kind of progress, this kind of development, devoid of who is from here or who is coming from here. But it looks like you are still struggling to move away from your party. You have detached yourself from patriotism. Your statesmanship has been taken away because you have allowed your partisan side, to overshadow your patriotic side. And recently when you grant interviews, it sounds like broken record. Mr. Ex-President, if you were not consulted on National Cathedral, do you think I care? Do you think any Ghanaian cares? Because if you were even consulted, and because you want to protect your party and the people who you know are doing the wrong thing, you wouldn't have come out to tell us to say you don't agree and that they should stop. You wouldn't have done it. And you not being consulted does not change the narrative here that if you had even been consulted, and still they would have done what they did. The reason I make a Ghana for say, yeah, for interview grantee, it is all about America. You see George Bush, who is a former president or Republican, a grantee interview. Do you think the Republican Party cares? No. Party maybe I say do as Republican Party, they would not care about George Bush. The NPP now say to the point where it is not granting interview to bloggers or indirectly trying to reach out to the base to change the destiny of the party. No. I am being respectful here because I respect Papa KUFOUR very well. Into these things, Papa, you cannot isolate anybody from these things. In 2020, on Mountie stage catcher say, upon the killings, every single thing we had seen, the high number of people who were unemployed, the deliberate disrespect for the rule of law, the corruption. You saw all these things. You still came out to tell us to vote for Kufuor. You had seen also West Wagon. You had seen Eyedie Ejapade. You had seen PDS. You had seen all the things that were never reasonable for anybody to even for one say, hey, you saw all these things. You never commented. You still came out final day of election to tell us you should all go and vote for Kufuor to continue. That's why I'm saying that you have allowed your partisanship to overshadow or cloud. And yet your patriotism, it has taken over it. So right now, no, you are struggling to get out of it, and you are struggling because Wakuma when you're ready to be patriotic. So these interviews with these bloggers to please NPP delegate base for them to line up to go and continue Ekufuado's legacy, because you told us in 2020, say Mahamudu Bawumia and Ekufuado, all that they have done, you will still want us to continue, so we should go out and vote for them. That is what you told us. You did not care about the economy, jobs that were being destroyed, the corruption, the nepotism, the disrespect for the rule of law, how they were. You did not care about any of these things. All that you did was you did party job. This is not new. There's nothing exceptional about what you just said yesterday. I don't think anybody in Ghana is shocked. I don't think Ghana and Ibia sorry say, hey, Kufuor Neka say. Nobody should be shocked. And I don't think anyone is shocked because you have shown us from Tetinyina Besia. Nana Dankwe Kufuor told us he wanted to hand over to Bawumia. Anamebwa, you were there. You said yes. You knew what Kufuor had done. You knew what Bawumia had supported. You still went ahead and said we should vote for the NPP. Team, give me video. Team, give me video and let me show to your papa. Nobody is surprised. Then, so when I see people making noise, Kufuor can say, no, this is normal. This is normal level. Bibian Sisanye. It is still the same Kufuor we know. The same Kufuor who pretends he loves Ghana, but he doesn't. The same Kufuor who always chooses his party over citizenry, omo plight. That has been you. And I was expecting you to say the last 8 years, I bet you less him. I can say no, enough is enough. You need the party at this point there. Let us put Ghana before, but you never did. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo stood before Ghanaians in 2024 after people were shot in 2020 elections, after PDS, after Ejapade, after Galamsey swallowing your own hometown in the Ashanti region.